Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
What up, what up, what up? How y'all doing? Happy Thursday. If you're in the United States, if you're over there in Australia, it's already Friday. And you're in the future and it's almost the weekend for you. Hi guys, how's everybody doing? Let me say hi to people. Hey Cement Shoes, hey Nadie, hey Cool Gamer, what up? Amelia Sparkles, hello. Crackling Rosie True Crime, hi. Hi Corky, how you guys doing? Enforcer, what up? Aw, I'm all right, but thank you. Thanks for popping in and popping back out. Lordy. All right. So, okay, I spent all day doing this. I was looking for some interrogations to roast, and I kind of wanted to do you know, axe Michelle, but the person who put up the deposition, I emailed them and they didn't get back to me. And I think the right thing to do is ask permission. So I'm going to wait, but we don't have any trials really that are going on thank you, babe. We don't, hey, Heather, whatever. We don't have any like trials like that are going on right now that I'm, you know, wanting to cover. So I was like, well, who's good for a laugh? I know, Jodi. So yeah, we have Jodi. Ninjas did it, Arias. And so I'm gonna play her testimony from the trial. And this isn't gonna be like normally when I cover a trial because look, let's be honest, okay? We all know the outcome of the trial. It's been 11 billion years since she was even on trial in the first damn ass place. So I thought it's almost the weekend. I ain't got no job and I ain't got shit to do. So I'm gonna make fun of Jodi Arias. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what we're doing tonight. Um, so yeah, we're gonna watch her testimony. And then Saturday, I'm going to have the Cat Melander thing for you guys to premiere, and I'm going to do it where the premiere is first, obviously, because otherwise, I mean, this other doesn't make sense to have the chat discussion first and then show the video. That would be ridiculous. So, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So let me see. Let me find it. Here it is. No, 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 no. It's not what I wanted. Let me go to. This is where I wanted it. All right. Oh my God. I forgot that she testified for like 87 years. Give me a second. Let me just go to the damn channel. Yeah. I don't really she testified for like 10 days, y'all. 10 days. 10 days of lies. 10 days of treachery. Let me make sure I have the right one now. Okay. So, what you're going to notice is that, hey, Fruit Fly, welcome in, welcome in. Hey, Ranthy Mom. I keep forgetting about Shayna. I don't know why my brain will not let me entertain her. For whatever reason, my brain is just whenever it's every time I see her name, it's like the first time I'm seeing her name, even though I know exactly who she is and what she is accused of and all that business. Every single time, but every single time I see her name, I it's like the first time I'm ever seeing it. I don't know why my brain is just has a block on her. My brain is like, no, you can't entertain her. Yeah. Yeah. So if you guys haven't done so already, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down. I don't know. Whatever you feel like doing is fine with me. Yes, I forgot about this. Yes, she sings. I mean, Shayna does it all. She's doing the most. So, if you guys would go ahead and give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down or whatever you feel like, I would appreciate it. Unfortunately, this video does not have the closed captions turned on, so they're not available. So, I mean, let's be honest, she's going to fill our ears with lies anyways, and I'm probably just going to make fun of her completely. And so we're not really going to hear a ton of testimony. So there's that. If you came here to learn something, like literally be educational, probably not going to learn something educational. No, just kidding. You might learn something, but it ain't going to be about Jodi. Also, they don't call. Okay, so I forgot about this part with her that she was locked up prior to trial. And so I was like, why is Jodi on the stand and we don't see her take the stand? That's because she's wearing shackles. And, they don't like for the jury to see that, because it prejudices the jury, blah, 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 blah. So that's why she's up there and we don't get to see her walk to the stand because Jodi is dangerous and she needs to be shackled. So without further ado, I present to you one Jodi Ninjas Did It Arias. Here we go. Did I even add this to the stream? Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, good. Well, let me turn her up a little bit. She's up as loud as she goes. Sorry, you guys.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Hi, Jodi.
Hi.
How are you feeling right now?
Oh, wow. Who all came in? Let's see. Recliner Detective, Jennifer the Hooligan. How you doing?
I want to ask you.
Let me ask you to get near a microphone.
Position you ever thought you would find yourself in, testifying here today?
The objection. Approach, please.
Oh, for Pete's sake. Already off the bat. Which, okay, let's be honest. That's not a good question. Who would answer that question with a yes? Hey, Coolest Reviews. Like, honestly, who would be sitting up there testifying in their own damn defense and saying, and when asked if they ever imagined themselves in this place, they answer yes. Even I would say no. Aw, cement shoes. Thank you so much. Okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to listen to Jodi tonight, okay? Because she be testifying for 87 days. I'm no lie, all right? I promise you tomorrow night we will do Shayna, okay? And if you guys have other suggestions for roasts while we're in between trials, leave them in the comments. And I will, if I can find their interrogation videos, I'll do it. Bruh. What is the deal with this audio?
2008.
I did.
Oh,
Why?
because ninjas, no.
The simple answer is that he attacked me, and I defended myself.
Okay.
Here we go. We've
It was
decided
also brought up during these proceedings.
ninjas didn't do it this time. Let me see if I can find a better stream because this audio is really bad. Hold on a second.
Remember seeing that tape?
Let me stop sharing. Well, I'll leave it here. I lied. I'll leave it here until I find a better stream because this one's not good. It's fine when you're like, it was fine for me when I was on my phone listening to it, but it's not good like right now. The state probably brought the glasses. Should probably You know, that this is her. I'm very contrite. Attacked me and I defended myself, which are lies, obviously. All right, hold on a second. Let me just do this. Okay. I can't, it's hard for me. I'm glad we're doing Jodi because, to be brutally honest, I can't stand her at all because her lies don't even make sense. And I cannot do it at all. Like, she is so redonk. All right, now she's testifying on day 13. Let me open this one and hear this and see how it sounds. Sorry, you guys. Always these last minute, and there's no closed captions on this one. Hold on, let me see if I can fix it. This one's better. Hold on a second. Still not that great. I think we're just going to be staying where we were because this isn't that great either. Sorry, guys. I'll get it and we'll just get started. I'm not going to monkey around no more. That's it. I made my final selection. All right. I'm not monkeying with it no more. I promise. That's it. I made my selection. We're good.
Something to that effect. Remember saying that?
Yeah, I did say that.
Sorry, recliner detective. I don't have, it won't work. The closed captions don't work. That's the problem.
2008, I believe it was. And
See?
at the time, I had plans to commit suicide. So I was extremely confident that no jury would convict me because I didn't expect any of you to be here.
Hey, Allie, how you doing, babe?
So I could have easily said no jury would acquit me either. I couldn't say that, though, because there was an officer sitting 5 feet behind me, and had I told them the reason no jury would convict me at that time, I would have been thrown into a padded cell and stripped down, and that would have been my life for a while until I stabilized. So I was very confident that no jury.
You're getting paused already, straight out the gate. Did y'all hear? Okay, so if you missed the question, this is what he asked her. He said, "Do you remember the video where you said no jury would convict you?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then she goes on to say that what she really meant in that is that no jury would convict her or acquit her because she was contemplating self-harm, but she couldn't say that because she didn't want to be put in isolation on, self-harm watch, and she didn't want to wear the shell. Whatever, Jodi, you're so full of lies.
To be dead. Probably the most bitter words I'll ever eat.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said those were probably the most bitter words I'll ever eat.
She's biting her lip, which means she knows that she's tasting lies out of her mouth.
Ms. Arias, I want to clarify another thing as well when we're talking here. your name has been pronounced, and most of this trial Arias. Is there another way of pronouncing it? Have you always pronounced it Arias?
I've heard it pronounced about 7 different ways. I say Arias, as does the rest of my family.
Okay. Well, let's back up a little bit and then talk about your family. Who's in your immediate family?
My immediate family consists of, I'm the oldest of my parents. They also had another son about 2 years after I was born, my brother. And then I have another younger sister and another younger brother. I also have an older sister from a previous marriage of my father's.
Okay. So let me see if well, first of all, what are the names of your parents?
Bill and Sandy Arias.
And are they still married at this time?
Yes, about 33 years.
Okay. And you said you were the oldest child of Bill and Sandy, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you have a half-sister that is older than you, is that right?
Yes, she's 5 years older than me.
Okay. And that is your father's daughter?
Yes, from a previous marriage.
Okay. And you have a brother that's 2 years younger than you, right?
Yes.
Okay. And what is his name?
His name is Carl.
And you mentioned I believe the next youngest would have been another sister. What was her
Yes,
name?
Angela.
Okay. And your youngest brother, who is he?
Joseph.
Okay. And just so we get a bit of separation, how much younger than you is Angela?
Angela was born when I was 11, and Joseph was born when I was 13.
And what year were you born?
1980.
Do you remember where you grew up?
Yeah, I grew up in a few different cities. I was born in Salinas, California, and I lived there until I was almost 12.
Okay. And what was life like in Salinas?
For the first years of my life, it was really good.
When you say that, before you continue, let's clarify. What do you mean by first years?
I would say until about age 7, it was a fairly ideal childhood.
Okay, different people have different meanings when they say ideal, so why don't you describe for us what you mean by ideal childhood?
I have predominantly positive memories of my childhood at that time. My brother and I lived when I was about 4 years old, we moved to a house in a cul-de-sac. We had the center lot, so it was a huge backyard, and we had a lot of places to play there. There were trees to climb. There were other kids in the neighborhood and in the cul-de-sac that we played with. We were close in age, so my family traveled a lot. We went camping. We went to all the theme parks in California.
Did you go to school?
Of course, yes, I went to school.
And you went to grade school in Salinas then?
Yes, I went to a private school for about 3 years and then a public school.
Were you and Carl in school together, or did you go to different schools?
We were in school together. I was held back in kindergarten, so even though we're 2 years apart, he was only 1 grade behind me.
And tell us about your parents at that time, to your recollection. Were they both working? Was your mom at home? Tell us about that.
Yeah, when I was younger, I remember my mom used to work, I guess she was working as a server with my dad. He owned restaurants my whole life. And then when I was around 11 or 12, she became a dental assistant.
Okay. And you mentioned your life was, well, let me ask you a question. Do you remember what your interests were as a child?
Yes, I had pets, cats, dog, fish. I had a rat. I loved animals. We had a lot of pets. My brother had frogs, things like that. We played a lot of hopscotch and 2-square when we were younger. We went roller skating. They didn't really have rollerblades yet, or at least that we used. We rode bikes a lot. We did a lot of camping. I'm sorry, I kind of forgot the question.
All right. Well, you're speaking very quietly. Are you nervous today?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
What's that?
Yes,
Okay.
very nervous.
Could you do me a favor and pull the mic a little closer to you? Jodi, one of the things that you said a couple questions ago when we were speaking is that your life was pretty ideal up until about age 7. Is something different after age 7, or?
It seemed like, well, my parents would just, spank us or hit us as discipline. So it seemed like at age 7, around then, it started getting a little bit more intense. That's something I remember.
Okay. You said they started spanking you.
Well, I was spanked before on occasion. Just it seemed like the frequency and the intensity of it increased around that age.
What do you mean by that, frequency and intensity?
Well, just there were, I think that's the first year my dad started using a belt. My mom began to carry a wooden spoon in her purse.
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
May we approach?
You may.
Okay, so apparently we're going to get into throwing the parents under the bus. They showed me violence, and this is how we ended up here today in this courtroom. Whatever, Jodi. Look, I get why he's doing this. He's trying to get the freaking, sympathy vote or whatever, and it's not really working for me. I don't feel any sympathy for her. Plenty of kids get spanked. Plenty of kids get more than what you could ever consider or would ever think would be reasonable. Oh, I turned the wrong thing down. I meant to turn my volume up. Anyway, what could be considered reasonable discipline, and yet they don't go out and, brutally unalive somebody. Just saying. Some do, but not much. I wouldn't like it, Corky. I wouldn't like it if she were in 5th grade. I wouldn't like it if she were in 8th grade. And I wouldn't like it if my oldest daughter wore it. And she's old enough to vote and drink. So there's your official Jen Lou answer. Let's just skip ahead a little bit. Let's see what else she's got. Okay.
All right.
Let's get to the meat and potatoes, sir.
Where did you go to high school?
Nobody cares where Jodi Arias went to high school.
After 8th.
Bye. I should have scrolled better. I should have checked this out, but I didn't think.
Mr. Juarez, how old was he in relation to you?
He was 3 years older than me.
So he would have been out of school, I would assume?
Yes, he was out of high school.
And what did he do for a living?
He had never been employed at that point, so it was an isolated town we lived in, and it was difficult to obtain employment.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this.
Look at
as it relates to Mr.
look at Martinez over there. He's just waiting to take a crack at her.
I first met him the first summer that I moved to Wairika when I was 15.
Should we skip? Well, no, because
yeah,
I promised Allie 79, but I don't see
the girl
her
I
in
mentioned
here.
that my mom introduced me to. Her and her sister, we were there. And I saw him walking in a crowd with a few other friends. And he caught
Should
my
we
eye.
get to
He was very
him?
intriguing looking. He was kind of dressed.
Let's get to him.
18th century goth, kind of.
I don't know what that is.
Can you
18th
describe for
century
someone else
goth.
who may not
I know what goth
follow that
is.
reference, just kinda
He
describe what he was wearing. Maybe.
Yeah, it was like July or August when I met him, and it's in
The coach did
maybe
it, Corky.
triple digits in the temperature. It's very hot. Wairika gets really hot, not quite like the desert, but in the triple digits in the summer. But this guy was dressed in a black suit and a high collar white shirt, and he was on crutches.
Wow,
He
Corky.
had
I'm glad
long,
it's not your
dark curly hair.
daughter,
and,
but damn.
He just seemed intriguing to me, so I remember seeing him walk by, and I didn't approach
Hey,
him or
Max.
anything,
Hey, okay. So if you guys want
but
me
I
to skip
noticed him.
forward to the
So,
cross-examination,
we spent the day there. My
put
friends
a
and I
1 in the
walking
chat. I
around,
hate doing that
and at one
because
point we were getting
whatever. Just put
They
yes.
were getting in line for the zipper. I didn't want to get on the zipper. There
What?
was only 2 per cage anyway, so I was kind of the third odd one out. So I just stood next to the line waiting for them to go on the zipper and come back.
No, but
But I was just looking
yes.
around
Okay,
and
let's
I
do it.
caught his eye again.
Because nobody really cares about Jodi not going on the zipper. Because to be frank with you, that pretty much says it all, that she doesn't want to go on the zipper. Because the zipper is a good ride. Sorry, Jodi. All right, hold on. Let's see. Let's see, where does he get to it? All right, I'm going to check the end of this one just to make sure. Yeah, because I don't really want to hear her accuse Travis of all the stuff she does. All right. All right, so it's not day 20. Or, yeah, whatever I just was on. All right. I hate this. This takes forever. I think it's somewhere around 19 days, day 19. She started out on day 13 testifying, you guys. So. I don't want to miss any of it. So. All right. So it's 21. I got it now. Don't you worry. Sorry, guys. Usually I'm way more organized than this. I don't know what my damage is today. All right. Now we're cooking. Thank you very much for your patience. I appreciate it. What you doing? Shift happens. How's it going? All right. And there's no
Arias, please take the stand.
There's no closed captions on this one either. You got some Jolly in your Holly shift, or is your Holly all out of Jolly? Because if your Holly's all out of Jolly, you came to the right place. We'll put the Jolly back in your Holly over here at the ward. He's putting stuff in the thing for her. Ah, thank you. Thank you, Crackling Rosie True Crime. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm glad that like side pony, like half ponytail thing she ditched. after 7 days of testimony? Because that hairdo was not good. Not good at all. Also, Jodi, you should probably
Please be seated.
blink.
The record will show the presence of the jury, the defendant, and all counsel. Ms. Arias, you are still under oath. Do you understand?
Yes.
Mr. Martinez, you may cross-examine the witness.
And here we go.
Ma'am, take a look at Exhibit 413. You
Max,
recognize that exhibit?
I don't actually
correct?
know the answer to that
And that's a
question.
picture of you, correct? Right
Yes.
here? And the other one is a picture of your dumb sister, Angela, correct?
Oh dear, right out the gate.
That's my sister. She's not dumb.
Well, do you remember having a conversation with Travis Alexander back on May 10th of 2008?
Yes.
And do you remember that you tape recorded that conversation?
Yes.
And during that conversation, isn't it true that you said, but I honestly think, talking about Angela, she's a little bit dumb. You said that, right?
Yes, I called her dumb and stupid.
Did I ask you whether or not you called her stupid, man?
No.
I asked you whether or not you called her dumb, right?
Yes.
He's not playing with you today, Jodi. I mean,
Now take a look at exhibit
from second one.
452.
Bless it. Coolest, do you want me to write
Do you recognize the two people there?
the nice lady at Costco a strongly
And
worded
this
letter
photograph
so
was
that she'll
taken
show
by
you these
your camera, correct?
frames?
It looks like it.
Well, when you say it looks like it, isn't it part of the same photographs that are involved in Exhibit
Yeah,
413?
he ain't playing with her. He is not
I think
entertaining
it is.
her baloney today.
Well, exhibit number 413, that was taken on May 10th, we'll bring it in, of 2008, right?
Yes.
And this photograph here, exhibit number 413, features the color of your hair, doesn't it?
Yes.
Exhibit 452 also features the color of your hair, doesn't it?
Yes, a different part of my hair.
And this was taken sometime in May of
None of the
2008,
days.
correct?
This exhibit,
No, exhibit number 452
I only remember it was the spring, I think.
of 2008.
Yes.
Move for the admission of exhibit 452.
Coolest,
Objection, lack of foundation.
what if I wrote not a strongly worded letter,
Council approach.
but an encouraging letter, like extolling your virtues and stuff like that, and the fact that you're like, I mean, you literally have the name coolest in your name, for Pete's sake. How can you go wrong with somebody like that? And all you wanted to see was the Jodi Arias frames. No, cute never works with Martinez. And you know what it is? I think that he ratcheted up the going hard at her up like 5 levels because of the accusations she made on the stand. And I'm kind of glad we didn't play those because I'd forgotten about those for a minute. And I don't even want to hear those again. And I don't think they don't need to be out in the universe again. Oh, brother, I can't. How much longer are we at this sidebar? I'm very antsy today.
52 is admitted.
You would rock them. You really would.
Now, take a look at the back of exhibit 452. It contains a date on there.
Look at how he handed those to her. He's barely wanted to touch it.
Photograph was taken.
Yes.
He didn't want
What
any,
date was this photograph taken?
5 days later, the 15th of May, 2008.
he didn't want any chance that she would
And
touch
with
any
regard
part
to
of his
this
hand.
photograph, it also features you, and it also features your sister, the one that you also said was stupid, correct?
Yes.
Now, with regard to
Jody, you
this
should have put
name
some
calling,
toner in that
one of
hair.
the things that we heard through a text message was that you were upset at some point because Mr. Alexander said that you were going to turn out like your mother, or you were acting like your mother. Do you remember that text message, man?
Yes.
And in that text message, there was this indication that somehow he was saying something bad about your mother, right?
Yes.
And when you testified, you seemed to get pretty upset about that, right?
I remember getting emotional.
And you indicated that you loved your mother, right?
I do love my mother, yes.
Did you or did you not indicate that you loved your mother? I'm not asking you if you love your mother. I'm asking you if you indicated it.
I don't remember.
Do you have problems with your memory, man?
Sometimes.
So you can tell us, for example, what kind of coffee you bought at Starbucks back on June 3rd of 2008, but you can't tell us what you said yesterday or the day before?
I always got the same drink at Starbucks.
And you can tell us, for example, what type of sex you had with Mr. Alexander many years ago, but you're having trouble telling us what you said a couple of days ago?
When I'm under stress, yeah, it affects my memory.
I thought you said the relationship with Mr. Alexander was very stressful.
Please
Some of
hold.
the sex wasn't.
Please hold, is what I said, Mr. Martinez. Yes. Hi, Seth. Jody is scary, but she has memory problems when she's stressed. Oh, okay. What up? Jody, you're so full of caca.
Some of the sex wasn't.
Oh,
So you
so
did enjoy
you
the sex,
did
then, is
get
that what you're telling me?
nice.
At times I did.
Thank you for editing that, Coolest Reviews. You know how the YouTubes be.
But you did indicate
She
at
is
some point
pretty.
that
She's just an unaliver,
as part of your examination, also that
a brutal.
Mr. Alexander
Unaliver.
at some point said something about your grandparents also. Do you remember telling us that?
My grandfather.
Right, that he made some pejorative comment or some bad comment about him, right?
Yes, his name.
Right. And one of the things that seems to be coming out here is that you seem to have a double standard here with regard to making comments about people, don't you?
Yes, I do. I do.
And in fact, it's okay for you to make comments about, for example, Angela and call her dumb and stupid, right?
No,
Well, but you said it, right?
I did.
And we heard on the telephone conversation that you were laughing when you said that, right?
Yeah, it was sentimental, kind of.
What?
You were laughing. You weren't upset when you said it, were you?
No.
And
I don't know if it
when
sends
Mr.
the bots,
Alexander says
but
something
it'll
like,
get me
"You're
in
going to
trouble."
be like your mother, that's when you get emotional and upset, right?
Because right now YouTube has already said, okay,
And
your
that's
ads
when
are
you get
limited.
upset when he
I
says
don't want to
something
miss
about your
any of
grandfather, right?
Jody getting read by Martinez. So let me just say this. So what will happen is at this point in the live, we're what, like 41 minutes in? YouTube has already said, oh, it's limited ads. So after the live is over, what I'll do is I'll go over to YouTube Studio and click request review. But when I request the review, they look at the chat too. So if anything is in the chat, then, they'll say whatever. All right, here we go.
That night I was upset.
And, well, you did get upset, yes or no?
No, because I was already upset.
Well, you didn't get upset on the witness stand when you told us about
Oh,
that?
yeah, on the witness stand, certainly.
And so it just
I
seems
just
that
noticed
it's
this
okay
about
unless
Jody.
it's okay to say these things unless it's Mr. Alexander that's saying them, right? So
No,
you're
that's not
applying a
what I'm
different
saying.
standard to Mr. Alexander, correct?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
And ma'am, one of the other things that we know.
Hold on, Mr. Martinez. I just want you guys to pay, because I just now noticed this, and I never noticed this before, and I'm not going to notice it alone, so you're all going to notice it with me. Please pay specific attention to Jody's bangs, because I noticed that the more lies that she tells, they have this the Melanie Gibb effect. They start to poke out the more she lies, like the tuning fork bangs. Remember those? The bangs be letting you know evil lurks.
So with regard to this standard applying and that sort of thing is back yesterday, as a matter of fact, you told us that back in August of 2007, you went over to Mr. Alexander's house. Do you remember telling us that?
Yes,
And you remember telling us that at that time you were broken up with Mr. Alexander, right?
yes, I'd broken up with him.
Well, you broken up with him or he broken up with you? One of the two, correct?
I broke up with him.
Correct,
And my-
Nadine.
And you broke up with him on
100%.
June 29th of 2007, right?
Yes,
But you felt that it was okay for you to go over to his house in August of 2007, didn't you?
after he told me.
Yes or no? Did you feel it was okay to go over to his house?
I said yes.
And when you went over to his house, you
Me
indicated
too.
that you knocked or you did something and that nobody came to the door, right?
I went to his house a lot in August, so it depends on
Ma'am,
the
I'm
incident you're
talking
referring
about the
to.
incident that you told us about yesterday. Do you remember the one that you relayed?
Tell her,
that involved the
Martinez,
children? Do you
bitch,
remember
you
telling us
just
about that?
testified
I did
to
not know.
this.
And you did go over there, and at some point you started to peep in to the house, didn't you?
Yes,
Were you acting like
So
a
that
stalker,
means
Jodi?
that You don't know if you
Mhm.
knocked, though, right?
I did not knock. I know I did not.
So you went around the back then to look, right?
I went around the back to get in.
You went around the back then, right?
No, tell me about
And
the
when you went
pants,
around the
Seth.
back, you're telling us you went around the back to get in, right?
Yes,
But when you got to
Oh.
the back to
Is
get
this-
in,
are
you
these the
started to look
khaki
at what was
pants?
going on, right?
I glanced in as I was walking to the sliding glass door.
You did walk
I
in.
went in
you
and
were
cooked
looking at what was going on,
pancakes.
right?
I did not walk in.
Then you were from outside looking in, right?
Yes.
Never went in, right?
No, I ran out of the backyard.
You never went in, yes or no?
I said no.
And when you went,
No, I
you saw
didn't,
something that
Corky.
upset you, right?
Yes.
You saw Mr. Alexander, right?
I didn't know it was him at first,
Yes
but
or
yes,
no? Did
that
you
was
see
him.
him
All
during
right,
that
when this is
encounter?
when this is over, we'll look at the pants because I'm not gonna. I'm a terrible rewinder,
I did. I said no.
Seth. You know this about
I
me.
didn't know it was him at first.
You didn't see him when you were there that night?
I did afterward, yes.
That night, ma'am, listen to my question. That night,
He's-
did you see Mr. Alexander inside that house? Yes or no?
Yes.
And inside that house, there was a female, right?
Yes.
What's the name of the female?
He didn't tell me her name.
I'm asking that. Did I ask you if he told you the name?
No.
So, did you recognize her?
No, I did not.
And he was there with the female, though. You were able to see her face, though, right?
Yes, sort of.
Well, yes or sort of means two different things. Yes
Aren't
or
they
no? Were you
aren't they
able to see her face
khakis
or
that
not?
are like not?
Part of it was
That
shadowed
don't
from the
fit
TV
her
behind
well?
so I
Ma'am,
saw part of it.
Judge, she's not answering my question.
Ms. Arias, listen carefully to the question and answer only the question you are asked.
Okay.
You may continue.
Could you see her face? Yes or no?
Part of it.
But you were able to see that they were making out, right?
Oh, yeah, they were.
And so is that a yes? They were making out, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is that yes?
Yes.
And part of what you also saw was that her brassiere was off, right?
Oh dear.
I did not see that. I just saw her rehook her bra.
Pardon?
I didn't see it all the way off. It
You,
just saw her
you
rehook.
indicated that you saw her hooking the brassiere back on, right? You
She
told us
was
that
rehooking
yesterday,
it.
yes?
She was rehooking it. Yes.
So you did tell us that yesterday, right?
Yes.
So that means that at least that her bra was unhooked, right?
It was unhooked.
And you stood there and they stood up in reaction to something that you did? Is that what you're telling us?
No,
They didn't see you,
they didn't see me.
but you saw you. So what happened
What?
then is you actually were watching what they were doing then, right?
Briefly, yes.
So you're
Did I ask you
peeping.
for how long, ma'am?
No,
I
What is
asked
it?
you
If you're
you stood
male, it's
there and
peeping
watched
Tom.
them, right?
no,
What is it if you're a
You
female?
didn't stand there and watch them?
I didn't stand there. I saw it. And then I
Peeping
turned around
Jane?
to the
So you-
Backyard.
But you saw enough to know that they were kissing, right?
Yes.
He sounds.
You used the term making
Hideous,
out, didn't you,
Corky.
yesterday?
Yes.
You were there long enough.
She
to
is
see that
smirking
one of
because
the
she
individuals
knows
was
she's
Mr. Alexander,
foul.
his roommates, right?
Yes.
You were able to see that it was a female, right?
Yes.
You were able to see that the bra was unhooked,
Oh,
right?
peeping twit. Good
Yes.
thinking,
And the lights weren't on.
Nadine.
There was a light.
Well, didn't you indicate that it was like a TV kind of light?
That
you saw?
light. Yes.
Right? So there was no light, there was a television that was on, right?
Peeping
That's
Jody.
right.
That's what
Yeah.
it's going to be from now on. It's a
Was it
new
a
legal
light or
term.
was it a
Peeping
television that
Jody.
was on?
It was light from a television screen.
So are you saying that it was the television that was on then?
Yes.
And from that light, you were able to make all of this.
You're not going to make me say it, Nadine.
No other light was on, right?
Not that I recall.
And then you decided to leave, right?
Yes.
And this was at the point that you were living very close to Mr. Alexander, right?
Low key, Seth,
No.
I think NK would be scared of Jodi. I don't think they would be friends.
I was living by
'Cause they're too
Greenfield
alike.
Broadway. I don't know the length.
How long would it take you to drive that?
About 15 minutes, depending on traffic.
And after you saw this, one of the things that you did was that you took off, right?
Yes.
And then you thought about it, right?
Nosy
Of course.
Nettie. I like that one
And you
too.
felt strongly enough about this that the next day you called your father, right?
I called my parents' house and my dad
Yes or
answered.
no, you spoke to your father.
I did speak to him.
And you were crying, right?
Yes.
And you were upset about this, right?
Yes.
And you told him why you were upset, right?
Yes.
I thought you said before that you didn't discuss these issues involving you and Mr. Alexander.
Not typically.
Not typically. You said you didn't yesterday and all the days before.
That's
Are you
right,
telling us
Mr.
that?
Martinez,
The
point out
violence,
every
yes.
single
Oh, I
lie.
see. So, but you did discuss the
Oh.
fact that you saw him kissing with somebody else with your father, right?
Yes.
And as a result of that,
I don't think
you
so. Let me
decided to
look
go
it up.
talk to Mr. Alexander about it, right?
Yes.
What in the world gave you the right to go talk to an ex-boyfriend with who, according to you, you'd broken up with? What right do you have to do that?
Sustained.
Ma'am, do you feel that you could go and talk to him about that?
Of course.
Why? Weren't you broken up?
Yes.
You were being territorial about him, weren't you?
No.
Oh, you weren't? Then why in the world would you even care what he was doing?
Because he was trying to court me back.
That's
Oh.
you telling us that he was trying to court you back. If he's trying to court you back, he could have just walked away at that point, couldn't you?
Yeah, I could have at any time, I guess.
Well, at that point, you could have walked away, right?
Yes.
You didn't need him for his paycheck, right? Because he wasn't giving you money,
Well, no
right?
wonder it's
He
not
was
pulling
giving
it up
me-
because I don't know
that
how to
was for
work
some
Google
work, but you could have
apparently.
gotten other work, right?
I guess I could have looked.
You guess.
I
You looked at other
guess.
places, you know you could have gotten other work, couldn't you?
Not in August. It's very slow season for restaurants.
Oh, is
So
it?
you're saying that.
Oh, you're
you were
right.
restricted to
Hold on,
only getting
y'all.
Work at restaurants, that there's no other kind of work that you could get.
Former Maricopa County prosecutor Juan Martinez disbarred. This was written on July 17th, 2020. After a 30-year career as a prosecutor, high-profile lawyer Juan Martinez has agreed to be disbarred. The disbarment comes 2 days after a November trial had been scheduled involving a State Bar of Arizona complaint against Martinez. Oh dear, for harassment of women. The State Bar investigates lawyers also accused Martinez of leaking information to a blogger during the Jodi Arias murder trial and lying to investigators. Oh dear, about having oh no. Okay. Well, we're not going to read anymore because I don't want to think of him that way.
Restaurants is,
Yes or no?
I guess that would be nice.
Hey, squirrel.
So then, in addition to that, you were living in your own place, right?
He's a good lawyer, but
No.
not a very
Yeah.
good guy,
You were living with
seems.
Mr. Alexander?
No.
And he did agree
You
to
were
be
living elsewhere,
disbarred.
weren't you?
Yes.
You were living in another place, right?
Yes.
Where you were paying rent, right?
No.
You weren't paying
any rent
rent?
at all.
Not with Rachel.
So in other words,
Oh.
it was even better for you. You didn't even have to worry about having to pay the rent, then, right?
I think so
Yes.
too. Can you
And so you could
edit
have just
that
let
word,
that situation alone, but you decided
S
to
word,
confront him
recliner detective
anyway,
for
right?
me, please?
Of course.
And the reason that you did it is because you were jealous, right?
No.
And then you did talk to him about this issue, correct?
Yes.
And he got upset with you, right?
No.
He didn't get upset and scream and run upstairs. Isn't that what you told us yesterday?
Yes, he did.
Well, then why'd you just say no? Which is
And
it?
To go back to this issue involving the text messages, one of the things that you told us was that there was a text message that you sent to somebody by the name of Steve Carroll, right?
Yes.
And that it was a two-part text message, right?
Yes.
In this
Maybe.
two-part text message, one part ended up going to Mr. Alexander, right?
Yes.
And that he got upset about it, right?
Very yes.
And after he got upset about it, one of the things that he wanted was to see the second part of this text message, right?
Yes.
And so you lied to him at that point, right?
I would say that
No.
she's
Well,
less
you
like a
fabricated
hobbit
a second
and
text
more
message, didn't
like
you?
After that point, yes.
So
whatever
are you
Gollum
telling
is
me that
before he
fabricating a text
became
message
Gollum,
is
when he
not a
was
lie?
just
No, I'm
Smeagol.
not saying that.
So you did lie to him, Mr. Alexander,
Similar
right?
to a hobbit, but capable of evil, clearly.
Yes and no.
Yes and
So
no.
you think that sending him that text message and telling him this is the second part of the text message, that's not a lie, even though you fabricated it.
That part was the lie.
I'm saying
And so you then were asked the question, well, how
Smeagol.
does that
Smeagol
make you
was
feel
Gollum's name before he was
when
Gollum.
Mr. Alexander
Well, Gollum was his alter.
sending you these text messages
Smeagol had
involving Mr.
developed
Carroll? Remember that line of
dissociative
questioning?
identity disorder
Yes.
after possessing the ring.
We're applying a different standard here then, right? With regard to this
I do need to have a drink.
issue of how you feel,
Hit that cash
isn't
app,
that
y'all.
the same thing that you felt when you were
I need
peeking
booze,
in his
apparently.
window in August of 2007? Isn't that the same kind of feeling that you were having
The same as what?
as the one involving Steve Carroll?
I don't know.
You were mad at Mr. Alexander both times, weren't you?
I wasn't mad at Alexander.
You weren't mad at him, or you were upset with him then, right?
You're calling him by his last name now, Jodi?
Either time.
Anytime.
Steve Carroll, no. The girl from Phoenix, yes.
I don't even know how to get
So
my
it just
own
seems
night
that
bot
it's
to
okay
work.
for you to lie to him about a guy, but when it comes to him being with some other girl, you
See
decide
where
to
it
confront him,
says
right?
if you you can either do PayPal where you can
And
click
one of
that
the other
link,
things that
or
you
if you
told
have
us
Cash App,
yesterday
just
was
type
that you were
$sign
monogamous with Mr.
Jen Lou,
Alexander,
thanks
right?
you, squirrel.
Sexually monogamous, yes.
Man, you told us you
Either
were
way.
monogamous, and that's what monogamous means, sexually, doesn't it?
Depends on who you
It means
ask.
more than that sometimes.
Well, in this case, monogamous means sexually, doesn't it?
Restate your question.
When you say monogamous, it means sexually, doesn't it?
Which time?
What we're talking, the
Oh,
time that we're
sweet
talking about
Jesus.
right
The
now.
whole time this
Involving Mr.
conversation's been
Alexander, one at a
happening.
time.
Thank
Our
you.
relationship evolved, so
I'm
Thank
not
you,
asking
squirrel.
if it evolved. At the end, right when you killed him, you indicated that you were monogamous with him, right?
yes.
And at that time, you then left the killing scene, if you will, and you went up to Utah, right?
Yes.
And when you went up to Utah, ma'am, you
Ma'am.
ended up with somebody by the name of Brian Burns, right?
Let me tell you why I
And you
like
ended up
this
in his
kind of
bed, right?
questioning. Because how many times have you heard yours truly on this very channel, and maybe even on Dr. B's True Psych Word channel, refer to Jodi in this same tone? Ma'am, not just Jodi. I believe I've done it to NK. I know I've done it to Sarah Boone. Pretty much anybody that needs to be referred to as a ma'am in that tone has been referred to as a ma'am. And I like that Mr. Martinez does it too.
I think it was a love sack.
Okay?
what?
And with regard to that, at that point, according to you, Mr. Alexander still wasn't dead, was he?
It wasn't discussed.
Well, did I ask you whether or not you discussed it with Mr. Burns? I didn't, did I?
I was talking about Mr.
Right,
Burns.
Sam? What
I'm
is she
asking you,
doing?
At that time, didn't you tell us yesterday?
Are you
at the time
being
that you went up to Utah, you weren't
intentionally
sure if he was
obtuse,
dead.
Jodi?
You remember telling us that?
Not in Utah, from the Hoover Dam, or right before the checkpoint.
So when did you know that he was dead? Tell me that.
Well, I got confirmation of it on June 10th, but
So, okay, if you got confirmation on June 10th, you met with Mr. Burns, what, before June 10th, didn't you?
yes,
You met him on the 5th, right?
yes,
And so at that point, you didn't know, according to your own story, that Mr. Alexander was dead, right?
They're just khakis.
I guess I knew. I wasn't accepting it.
You
And
either knew or you didn't. Which one is it, man? Make up your mind, please.
Objection, ask and answer.
Ask another question.
Did you know he was dead?
oh,
When
you're not
you were
talking to
Mr.
me. I was
Burns?
like, wait, what?
and he were kissing.
Hey, Paul J, how you doing?
Yeah, I think I did.
You think you did, but you're not sure of that.
Okay, let me just tell you
Totally
what they
out of my
are.
mind. I was out of my mind.
Low key, not even low key, high key. Okay, they're khaki pants, but they totally look like they belong on Jake from State Farm. And I'm talking about the original Jake from State Farm. Okay, they're that size. They're too big for her. They just look ridiculous. And yeah, I'm talking about original Jake from State Farm, not good looking beefcake Jake from State Farm. That's what they look like. They're ridiculous. As soon as this, I think at some point we'll see them.
Sort of.
So if you didn't think he was dead, if that portion of you didn't think he was dead, then it's okay for you, at that point, if you didn't think he was dead, to sort of roll around with Mr. Alexander.
They're starting to
with
stick
Mr.
out though.
Burroughs.
Look, the more she gets
And that was
vexed,
okay, right?
the more she,
I'm single.
huh?
Right. Just like he was on August 7th of 2000, on August 8th of 2000, in August of 2007, right?
Yes,
So it's okay for you, then it should be okay for him, right?
it was okay
Then why did you confront him the next day if it was okay?
because he was still courting me. I wanted to know where I stood.
And so because of he was still, your definition, courting you, you felt that you deserved an explanation, right?
Yes,
Hadn't you just had intercourse with Mr. Alexander on the 4th of June?
yes.
And if he was still alive,
Seth, you might have won
deserve an
that one.
explanation
Show
for you
me
being with
State
Mr.
Pen.
Burroughs, right?
That's good.
No.
No, that's, you're applying a different standard here, aren't you?
No.
You're
Yes.
saying one, it's okay for you to confront him about
Yes.
the situation, but not okay for Mr. Alexander to confront you, right?
Correct.
If he wanted to confront me, it would have been okay.
You
And
just
with
said
regard
2
to the
seconds
exhibit
ago
number
it was not okay.
Or
What are you talking about?
52, it does show you, right? Correct?
Yes.
And it shows again,
What's going on with
Correct.
Athena, you guys?
shows something else on there though, doesn't it? Doesn't it show your hand?
Anything new? Other than I saw the press
And in
conference
fact,
today.
Let me show you another close-up of that hand.
Oh, no, squirrel. Here it is. I'll put it in the chat right now. I got you. There you go, babe. Nothing new.
Please approach.
Jen, the hooligan, go look at this post. I think what Paul is trying to tell you is that he thinks somebody has him blocked or you blocked. But sometimes that happens, Paul. I will say this. It's very possible that somebody could have commented under somebody's reply and YouTube ate it, deleted it, and then it will show you that there's a reply, but nobody's actually there. Because let me just tell you why. YouTube is an instigator.
453, and then also take a look at exhibit 452.
You don't see Paul's comments? Okay. Did you go to your Google settings?
Yes.
No, babe, this isn't even in my in our chat, Sam. This is on Jennifer the Hooligan's
Yes.
page.
And you
Yes,
previously
that's
had
correct.
a
If
photo
it was
And when it was taken and who's in that photograph, correct?
$sign Jen Lou thanks you, then that was correct. Yes. No, hon, you're fine. I'm trying to help.
And ma'am, this was also taken according to your testimony on May 15th. Let's take a look at that, of 2008.
Hold on a second. Oh, here we go with the pinky. Before we get started with the pinky. Paul, you can't see community posts from me or from Jennifer the Hooligan. No, thank you.
That's a picture of your left hand. isn't it?
Squirrel,
Yes.
did you
That's
do
your finger, right?
Yes.
this
You
one?
remember that you testified that on January 22nd of 2008, you and Mr. Alexander were involved in some sort of violent encounter. Do you remember telling us about that?
Yes,
And you told us that during that encounter,
Oh,
he threw you down. You remember that?
okay.
yes,
And while you were down, that he kicked you, right?
yes.
And
I'm
when
gonna
he
go
kicked
look.
you, man, one of the things that happened was that
Hold
you
on.
put up your left hand. Do you remember telling us that?
Let me go look.
Yes, both hands.
Well, you told us specifically about your left hand, right?
Yes,
And when you went to put up your left hand, according to you, he kicked you and he damaged your ring finger on the left hand, correct?
yes,
And in fact, you even held it up for us, didn't you?
yes.
And it was crooked. when
Thank
showed it.
you, Squirrel. I
Bent.
appreciate
It's
that.
bent.
All right,
Show
I'm
us how
gonna
bent it
tell you
is
what the
again, man,
problem is. Hold on.
so we can see it sideways.
Yeah, Jody, your finger's not even fucked up. Shut up. Let me tell you what's happened. Okay, did you comment? Thank you. Thank you very much, Jen. I appreciate it. No, babe, you're not distracting me. It's fine. It's because of the way that, first of all, comments are turned off under the Athena post that's 2 days ago. Is there a different one, Jen? Because the comments under that one are turned off. And if it did let you comment, I bet you $1,000,000 that the comment is under Queen Bee. Well, no, her comments are turned off, so you can't leave a comment on that post. Let's see. Let me look at this one. This is the only other one that's Hold on, I'll figure it out. Ma'am.
If he caused that damage on January 22nd of 2008.
Yeah, I don't
that
see
would
him
have been before
commented
this
either, and I
picture that
see
we have
Sarah
here,
N has
which is
commented,
exhibit
so
number
yeah. Thank you so
453. It would have
much,
been
you
about
guys. I really
5 months
appreciate it.
before that, right?
It was before that. Mhm.
5 months, right?
I see what you mean,
Four.
Jen.
4 months then,
I
right?
found it.
Yes.
You don't
Ma'am.
have a bent finger here.
No, you
in
don't
exhibit
have a
453,
finger,
do you?
My
Jody.
finger is bent there.
No, it's not,
You're saying that your
Jody.
finger's bent there.
Yes.
Hold
No,
up your
it's
finger
not.
again.
Thank
Sideways
you,
so we can all
Squirrel.
see
I
it.
really appreciate
And my
that.
finger's straightened.
Heather, whatever. Thank you
And
so
that's what it looks like, your
much.
finger, and you're saying that's what
Thank
happened on January
you.
22nd, 2008, right?
Thank
Yes.
you for the other
Now,
Cash
one of the
App.
other
I
things involving
appreciate
this
that. I
particular
don't.
Finger, it seems to have had its
Thank
run,
you guys.
if
You guys
will,
are so
of
sweet.
bad things happen to it, right?
I appreciate that so
This
much.
finger?
Yes, the left ring finger.
No, sweetie, I don't have
Well, you talked
I
to
don't have
Brian Burns
Zelle.
about it, didn't you?
Yes.
And you told him that that finger, the left ring finger, had been damaged, right? Injured, didn't you?
I don't know if it was the left.
You don't remember?
Thank
telling
you,
him it was the left ring
Nadine.
finger?
No.
Thank you so much.
Do you, again,
You guys
have
are
a
so
problem
sweet.
with
I
memory?
appreciate it.
Occasionally.
Thank you so
And
much.
so, some of the things that you told us, for example, then about,
Oh no, it's
other
fine.
things
You
in the
guys,
past-
everybody, I'm just so
you may have also had
Ma'am.
problems with your memory then, right?
Yes.
And so,
You guys are all
whatever
great.
you
Thank
told us in the
you.
past is somewhat suspect then because your memory may be lacking.
It's a little argumentative.
I only told things I remember clearly. That are
Oh,
With
you're
regard to Mr. Burns,
I
you do
gotcha.
remember who he was, right?
Yes.
And you do remember that you went over to West Jordan to meet him, right?
Yes.
Thank
And you
you.
do remember that you
Oh,
did meet him
Paul,
that
thank you
Thursday during
very
sometime
much.
around 11 o'clock in the morning, right?
Thank you so
I think so,
much. Yes, pink out
And
for
when
that
you met him,
sweet
you
little
guys
angel.
decided to go somewhere to a restaurant for some sort of business meeting, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna
And
talk
during
about her
that
case
time, didn't you have a bandage
one
on your
night.
finger?
Probably like Sunday
Yes.
And it was your left finger,
when I
wasn't
have
it?
all the like
No.
when
It was
you
your
know what I
right
mean.
finger then, right? Is that what you're saying? It was your right finger?
It was two right fingers.
So it was your right finger then, right? Ma'am, are you sure? It
Huh?
was your right finger.
It was two
Pardon?
right fingers.
Do you remember then that you had a conversation with Detective Flores about this issue involving the finger?
I remember that
And you remember that
conversation
that
with
was on
Detective
July
Flores.
16th of 2008.
Yes.
I
And then
remember.
you remember that you told him that on June 4th, you had been over at Mr. Alexander's home, right?
Yes.
And you told him that you were over at Mr. Alexander's home and that some guy and some girl had come in, right?
Yes.
And during whatever happened on June 4th, you told Detective Flores that it was your left finger that had been damaged. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay.
So you did
Let me
tell
just
us,
say
the
this.
detective, that it happened on June 4th.
Excuse me,
Right.
Mr. Martinez. I don't want to be rude, but let me just tell you this. Jodi is an absolute 100%, no doubt about it, bald-faced liar, okay? Or bald face. I forget because it's both. Bald-faced liar, I think it is. Yes, bald face. Now, the other day, I was making fun of Mac the cat, and I was saying, I was doing the hokey pokey, and I said, you put your left foot in, and I put my fucking right foot in. So I really can't judge. I mean, you know, I shouldn't judge. I can. I just shouldn't. But whatever. Which roast do you want me to do, Squirrel? Put it in the chat, baby.
Yes.
Does that then refresh your recollection, and we'll play it so that we know what we're talking about?
I think I might have some khaki pants, maybe in my closet. Maybe we should all for Halloween wear our khaki pants.
Approach from council.
Of course I do, Paul G, because right after that she tried to stick her finger in the socket. That's what my husband said, Heather, whatever. He was like, your other left foot. She did at the very beginning, Squirrel, when I played her direct testimony. She explained that. Her explanation went thusly. What I said was that no jury would ever convict me, but I was feeling like I was going to self-harm. So really what it should have been is no jury would convict me, or no jury would acquit me, because I was, thinking I was going to self-harm and I wouldn't even be around for the trial. But I couldn't say that at that time because there was an officer sitting directly behind me, because I'm in jail from unaliving my former boyfriend. And I didn't want to get stripped down and put into the padded room. Yes. Oh, what did you delete, babe? You didn't have to do that. What happened? What did I miss? What did you delete, babe? Okay, so I promised cement shoes that I would do. Cripes, I already blocked her freaking name out of my brain again. Shayna Huber. I did Casey on Sunday, and I was thinking there is one other interview with Casey, but it's only it's only audio. So yeah. Let me skip forward. I don't want to see the sidebar because I can't hear them, so it doesn't do me any good. Oh crap, did I push it the wrong way? Okay, here we go. Oh. All you got to do is just put asterisks, just change up the spelling a little bit. Oh, the behavior panel? They did do, they did. I watched it, and they did the turtle suit. They did an excellent job analyzing her body, her language, all the things, her behavior in that in the new docuseries. They were on it and actually pointed out some stuff that I hadn't even noticed. And I loathe Casey.
If you look at him,
Oh,
my
here we
finger
go
isn't the
with
same
the
now.
fucking pinky that nobody cares about.
really,
When do you actually, guys, when do you use your pinky? The only time I ever use my pinky is when I'm being fancy and I want my pinky to be up.
can you see?
Or pinky promise.
Purple or color, I guess. Same thing with this.
Yeah, get out. Let me get out the magnifying glass.
Oh,
Nothing
man,
is wrong
this
with
is
you.
me. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus.
This one here,
Fuck.
so a slice there.
Yeah.
Just a small one, or was it pretty deep?
I don't know how deep it was, but my finger hurt for a while.
Okay, so like right in that crease that you, right, across both of them?
Not my middle finger. It cut this one a little, but not as much. This is where it really went. I don't know how it happened that all these other fingers were
The
missed.
body
This
language,
one,
guys, watch me.
I don't know. This one, like I still can't close this finger all the way. It's as close as it goes. Whereas this one goes like that. Also, my CTR ring used to fit both fingers, and I can't get it on this finger.
I do,
So that's
babe.
pretty deep then.
You want that? You want
Yes,
the
I can
link?
feel
I've
it
learned a
squeeze.
lot
It just
here,
feels like
babe.
bone, like there's nothing abnormal there.
Mhm.
But again, like my CTR
I
ring
do
slides right on this finger, and it
indeed.
used to slide right in off this finger.
Here you go.
I just can't fit a ring on here.
Okay.
It's a bigger size now.
What about this
What?
here? It's,
That's my cat.
Excuse us, Jody. Excuse
I'm
us.
pretty
Ooh. So, okay. They're going to decide whether he gets a new trial. Yes. That's what the Peterson decision is, right? Okay. That's already, I can't believe that it's already time. They do not watch me squirrel. They do. What? We're going to have a Peterson party. Are they going to stream the decision live, or is it going to be one of those dadgum Scott Peterson coolest reviews? Or are they going to, they did not. You're going to have to send me the link. They did. They said fuchsia shirt for Stephen McDaniels. 4 Eastern time. Shut the front door. Maybe. Oh, it's going to be written. Okay. So she will hand down her, she's going to give her, okay, I got you. Thanks. Thank you. Well, we're going to, surely some reporter is going to be live about it. So 4 Eastern. Okay. You guys keep your ojos peeled for a notification from Yagero here. Because
sure she scratches me.
I definitely want to cover that.
That tape, or that videotape, right?
Yes.
And that's you having the conversation discussing the
Thank you,
left
Paul.
ring finger, right?
Yes.
And you demonstrated to Detective Flores that left ring finger, right?
Yes.
And you told him that this woman, during this attack on June 4th of 2008, cut you right there, didn't you?
Yes.
And you showed him, and the finger, if we look at it there, had the same aspect or had the same angle to it that your finger does now, doesn't it?
Yes.
Ma'am, the
Ma'am.
injury to your finger happened on June 4th, 2008, not January 22nd of 2008, did it?
That's not correct.
Ma'am, with regard to the story involving this particular issue,
Was there panel before mine, or because I've never seen them do
You-
Stephen McDaniel? So,
told
oh,
us
thank
that it
you.
happened on January 22nd.
Thank you for the
of
PayPal. That was so
2008,
sweet. Thank
Which
you
issue?
so much.
the left ring finger.
Yes.
He then discussed it, or there was this issue with Ryan Burns, right?
Because I've never
Which
seen theirs, so
The cut finger.
The cut
maybe they
finger.
do watch. Maybe one of them
And
watched
then-
me, or maybe we just have the same idea. It's
On
pretty hard
July
to
16th of 2008,
ignore that.
You discussed it with Detective Flores, right?
Yes.
One of the things that you told Mr. Burns was that you cut it at
have to
Margaritaville
go check it
while you
out.
were working there, right?
No, I did not say
You never
that.
told him that then, right?
I said at work.
So you never told him Margaritaville then, right?
No, he said that.
Oh, okay. Excuse me, Jody. You guys want to know something that I found today that is like a little gold mine? Remember Kai, the hitchhiking, the hatchet throwing hitchhiker guy? Y'all, he has his own channel on YouTube. I mean, it's obviously, no, I'll put it for you here, Paul. He's got his own YouTube channel where he sends like videos or whatever. Obviously, he's still locked up. He's appealing his case, and he has his own YouTube channel. Y'all, when I was looking to see if I could, maybe they put maybe they had his trial something, or maybe an interrogation, because I was thinking of him today and I stumbled across his freaking channel. Oh my God, you guys, he gives book reviews, he explains federal habeas corpus appeal. Shockingly, I only watched like a couple of seconds of it, but thank you, Squirrel. But he got, for the most part, I think he got it a little bit, he got pretty correct. Yes, he has his own. Yes, I don't know how. I really, because you can see that he's making. No, I know who it said it was. I figured it was you. I've learned a lot. But I didn't want to say your name out loud, like the name. I didn't want. But thank you very much for your PayPal, babe. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, and okay, so some of the videos are like, I'll put the link in the chat. Give me just a second. Some of the videos are like, when you like jail calls, like that. Yeah, like it's crazy. Okay, I'm gonna play Jody and put this link to Kai in the chat, his channel.
Right, but you never told him that you cut it at Margaritaville, right?
No.
You told him that you cut it at work then, right?
Yes.
And then when you spoke to Detective Flores, you gave him a different story. You didn't say that it was cut at work. You told him that it was cut some other way, right?
Yes.
And then you testified about it in this court, right?
Yes.
And you gave us another story of how this happened, right?
No.
Well, do you remember that you testified that you were at Mr. Alexander's home on June 4th, 2008 at the sink? Do you remember telling us that?
Yes.
And do you remember telling us that you dropped the glass in Mr. Alexander's house?
June 4th?
Whatever date you were there at Mr. Alexander's house.
Smash.
More than one.
Smash.
Ma'am, do you remember testifying yesterday
Jody,
about how you suffered this injury to your finger? Yes or no?
I don't know how he's doing
Not
it.
this finger.
No?
Honestly,
Do you
Squirrel.
remember testifying that
Jody,
involving your finger,
You talk to the police about it. Stop it.
That was cut when you dropped the glass when you were at Mr. Alexander's house on the day that you killed him?
I did not indicate my left finger. I said my
Oh, so you
finger.
were saying it was your right finger that you cut in Mr. Alexander's house, then, right?
It was my right finger, yes.
So throughout this whole thing, Mr. Burns, when he indicated what finger it was, he was mistaken. Well, not he was mistaken. You're saying you never told Mr. Burns that it was the right finger that you cut, right?
We didn't discuss which hand.
Okay, so you never indicated to him in any way, shape, or form that it was the
I
right
think Coolest Reviews, I think it was a work in progress. I don't think it's quite finished. She is not good at court. No, she isn't
And this
She
issue of
isn't.
the
at all. Not even a little.
22nd of January 22nd, when you injured, when you say that you were injured, you kept a journal, didn't you? You kept the journal, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And
He
you didn't
did,
write
Paul
in it
G.
all the
He
time,
did.
but you wrote in it some of the time, right?
Frequently, yes.
frequently.
Yeah, video
And you
conference,
were
I
right
think,
about
is
what's
what
going on in your
is
life
what that
back in
is.
January of 2008, right?
Yes.
And you were right about things.
Honestly, Nadine, it could have been when she crawled in the dog door or
Something.
when she was
Right,
wielding
and
the
in fact,
knife.
with regard to this particular journal, you knew that you could almost write anything.
can't
you
have
wanted
those
in it
luscious
because it was
locks.
going to stay private, right?
No.
In La Pinta, Heather, whatever. It's not a good look.
Let me mark one of those as exhibits.
Oh, Kai is a trip. I know. I've learned a lot. I know. It's sad. Jodi, your glasses, just FYI, now you see the bangs are starting to escape. Jodi is getting pressed. She's getting, the lies are coming. I forgot what I was going to say about, oh, her glasses. They didn't even move, yet here she goes adjusting them.
Take a look at exhibit 242.001.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. Jodi,
Recognize it?
ma'am.
And that's your journal, right?
Sure is.
Okay, that's that. Take a look at the entry, and just read it to yourself, on Sunday, August 26th of 07.
The whole entry.
Just read the first 5 lines.
Paul, do you have any trouble
First lines.
commenting anywhere else on anybody else's community page? And Jen, do you have,
Yes.
you don't have your community page set to review or anything like that? Do you even get notified that he's commented? Look at
5 or
me,
6 lines.
running a stream and being tech support.
Yes.
And you wrote that back on August 26th.
Glasses are
of 07,
uncomfortable.
right?
I'm wearing
Yes.
mine right now, but
Back, please.
I don't like Jodi, and so any little thing that she does coolest, I'm gonna have to make comment on. Sorry.
Look for the admission of exhibit number 4.
Jodi does that, squirrel. Jodi does that. So you don't have any issues commenting anywhere else. It's only on Jennifer's. Jennifer, do you have your settings like where you have to approve comments or they're held for review or anything like that? Weird. Jodi definitely has a debut. I believe that Dr. B and I pinpointed at one time the moment that the Dubuque was trying to escape, and Jodi swallowed it back in. Yeah, look and see. Jen, go to your studio on your through the browser if you're on your phone, and just make sure that he's not blocked on your channel. He might be blocked, and maybe he accidentally got blocked. And if you're on your laptop and you just, because I have a ton of all the anybody that's blocked on my channel is a bot, so it's super easy for me to go through my block list because I don't block anybody. But if you actually have like channel, like people blocked, use Control F and then type his username in it, and you should be able to find him just in case he might have accidentally got blocked. Oh, I bet that's adorable. I would love to have that vest. I also want the shirt from What About Bob? The one where it reads, "Don't hassle me, I'm local." I'm going to wear it to the beach around here so they know. Oh, thank you so much. I've learned a lot. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. You guys are really good to me. Thank you. What's happening here? Another sidebar? All right, let's get out of here. Skip ahead. Poor Martinez. He had to get on his tippy toes a little bit. Bless his heart. I think he's like as tall as me. I'm about 5'4". He looks about 5'4". Yeah. Maricopa County is where my mom was born, by the way. Just a little side note. I was born in Pima County. So was my dad. See, the bangs are coming loose
455 is admitted.
while she's reading the journal.
I'm reading it. 59.
It's the coolest. You did, Heather, whatever? I would love that too. And Arias's? Oh, that's right. That did happen. You were little in Pima County? I was born in Pima County. Jodi, come on, we're not taking a trip down memory lane here. This is just to refresh your recollection, which is totally pointless because you're just going to fucking lie anyways. It's your journal. It's your discovery. Ask for it you can take it back to yourself for Pete's sake. Hi, Al. Oh, hi, Alice. Hi. What are you doing, Preaker? I gotta knock the mic. Watch out. Hi. The official ward mascot, Alice the cat, has entered the chat. I did like Sheriff Joe. You know who else I like? I like Sheriff Joe, and I like Grady Judd here. They're very similar to me. Alice, everybody is saying hi to you because you're so stinking adorable.
Just this one entry.
Really, Heather? Whatever. When I was really young,
I know you have 2 entries, but first entry.
before I moved to Texas,
I got 3.
and I was on the swim team, I aspired to go to the U of A and train for swimming because they train not only. I mean, they have an amazing team, but they train the Olympics. The Olympians have trained there. When I went home to see my dad, gosh, it's been a long time, like 2008. Interestingly enough, I might have actually even been in Tucson whenever this heifer was unaliving people. But I sat next to a guy on the plane who was going to check out the U of A
Yes.
to
And that's
train
what it
for
says
the
there. Well, I
Olympics. He
guess
was
it's a
from
good thing
Israel.
that
Let
nobody
me
else
pause
reads
this
it.
because I don't want to be
Because
rude.
I write right now.
Excuse me, Mr. Martinez. I don't want to be rude. Anyway, he was from Israel and he was going to train for the Olympics. And by this time, you guys, I was 30 years old. This kid had to be like, I don't know, he was old enough to drink. So 21, 22, something like that. And he gave me his number and invited me to the frat party. And I'm like 30 years old. He was so sweet. So sweet. All right, here we go.
that I love Travis Victor Alexander so completely that I don't know any other way to be, correct? That's what it says.
Yes.
Do you remember when we started talking this morning that we talked about an incident where you went over to his house?
Yay!
And this was
You
the
didn't
incident
see
that you
Paul's
referenced,
though?
involving the killing, right? That it went through your head, right?
You talking about the incident in August 2007?
Right, exactly.
Yes.
And that incident in August of 2007, where you went over and peeked inside of his house, happened before this entry here of Sunday, August 26th, 007, right?
What was the last thing you said?
Not one comment from Paul. That's so weird. Well, maybe
Your question.
now that
Look
you've looked at it or whatever, he can
Yes,
comment.
it did happen before this entry.
Right, and so really the reason why you confronted Mr. Alexander was not because
Weird.
he owed you an explanation or anything like that. The reason you confronted him back in August of 2007 was because you were in love with him and you didn't want to let him go.
Yes,
right?
that's true. It's overruled because it's not argumentative. That's the truth.
But I was in love with him.
Yes, you did write this though, didn't you?
You're way behind, coolest.
No.
Catch up, babe.
You kept more than you wanted.
Huge for swimmers, yeah. That's what I wanted to be when I grew up. For a minute, I
kept
wanted
one
to
journal
be
at a time.
an Olympic swimmer.
Let's, take
I
a
did
look
the
at
breaststroke and freestyle. Alice, please take your claw out of my thigh, ma'am. What's wrong? What did you do to your little face? Let me see. I did read a lot as a kid, but I also watch people, and so I've learned both from books and from the School of Hard Knocks. For reals, for reals. I wish I would have gone, but then we moved to Texas, and swimming isn't real big in Texas. Football and cheerleading are, though. You know, I think I told you guys this. In 8th grade, I tried out for cheerleading just to see if I could make it, and I did make it, and then I didn't go. Just wanted to see.
Yes.
No, I didn't, because I was 30. I think I might have even been 31. I was too old to be at some damn frat party with a bunch of kids.
That's your writing in.
Ouch,
Right?
Alice, you are really clawing my thigh. That hurts.
There is an entry for
Uh-oh, we gotta plug the computer in, Alice. That's that.
January 24th, 2008, right?
Yes.
Let's just take a look at it. See that?
Yes.
You know what,
Let me
Cement?
mark another exhibit for you.
That's probably a good idea. However, I have to be honest. When Alice wants to do something, when she wants to be loved, which is right now, there is no deterring her.
Take a look at exhibit 456.
Oh, you at this point you could drain pasta on my thighs because she's poked so many holes in them with her claws.
The exhibit that you have in front of you, that's the whole entry for January 24th of 2008, correct?
I believe it is for this single one, yes.
There are other entries, but that's the complete entry.
Hey, Anaphylaxis, good to see you, babe.
Right?
Yes.
And the other ones are written in black, right?
Yes, the one following.
Yay! I'm so glad, Jen. I'm so glad. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you can see him now. Good. That's
The
good.
addition of exhibit number 456.
I'm happy it worked out. I'm talking to you and reading thanks. So I'm thanking you for. Alice June. Yeah, that hair is big in Texas. You know, the higher the hair, the closer to Jesus. It's very important. Hair and shoes. Hair and heels are high in Texas. I miss Texas. I do. Oh, I'm so glad, Jen. I'm so glad. I'm glad it could help. I'm telling you, YouTube is an instigator. How long is this gonna take to read this stuff? Come on now. Let's skip forward a little bit. Look how close he is to the book. Is the, you either know the answer to the question or you don't. Pulling it closer ain't gonna help.
002. We talked about the entry on January 24th of 2008. Take a look at this journal. And this is
Oh, really, Nadine?
previous in terms of.
I do too, Squirrel. I love my chat. I think I've the best chat on the
Is
YouTubes.
on January 20th.
Oh yeah, Heather.
2008.
I grew up in Arlington.
So there's a gap of 4 days between the time you wrote on
I
January
miss
20th
Texas. I do.
and on January 24th.
January 28th is my
Yes.
birthday.
Nothing in between, correct?
Not in the journal.
I'm asking about the journal, man.
She
Is there
answered
anything else in
you.
front of you?
Asked and answered, Your Honor, an argumentative.
In the journal, man. there
And
are
that's
no
why
other
I
entries
hang my
January
hat in Tennessee.
20th of 2008 and January
Oh,
24th
George
of
Strait.
2008, right?
Yes.
If we then take a look at Exhibit 456, let's see what you wrote.
She's really trying
on
to pay
Thursday,
breathing,
January
isn't
24th
she?
of
Where
2008.
did you get over here? Hello, little smoke ninja. What are you
You
doing?
wrote, I haven't written because there has been nothing noteworthy to report, correct?
Yes.
Jodi
You should tell
Arias,
us
you have the
involving the
handwriting of a
finger
serial
that-
killer.
This injury to your left finger when Mr. Alexander went to kick you, that happened on January 22nd of 2008?
Yes, it did.
And yet you write here that nothing noteworthy has happened, right?
Yes.
And then you also write that you turned down 4
I need to
offers for a
replenish
date.
my drink.
On Friday
Please
night, right?
excuse me. I
We'll agree to
love
date and so
George
is he, right?
Strait.
Yes.
He is the far man.
And then you
I'll be
finish
right
it out
back.
by talking about going up to the snow, right? See that?
Yes.
You're going to go up there skiing, you crossed it out, and you just are going to go up to the snow, right?
Yes.
Did you go skiing?
No, I don't ski.
Pardon?
I don't ski. No, I didn't go.
All right. The entry of January 20th of 2008, take a look at exhibit number 242.002. Count the pages, please.
The pages between the two?
No, just your entry of Sunday, January 20th of 2008. Do you want me to show you where it is
I
here?
have it. It's 4 and a few lines.
And it starts on the lower left-hand corner with 3 lines as you count the date, indicating January 20th of 2008, right?
Yes. I'm sorry, I misspoke. It's 5 pages and a few lines.
And in it, one of the things that you talk about is this issue involving Lonnie's baptism, right?
I haven't read it. Can I read it?
Sure, go ahead.
I moved away from Lonnie, so if you want me to finish it, if you're gonna ask me about the rest of the entry, I can read the
I'm
rest.
asking you about reading the whole entry of Sunday, June
Okay.
20th, 2008. Go ahead and finish it.
Yes,
It does talk about Lonnie's baptism, right?
yes,
And previously, when you testified, you indicated that the reason you missed Lonnie's baptism is because you and Mr. Alexander were involved in a sexual liaison, right?
yes,
And this was a sexual liaison where the Pop Rocks and the Tootsie Pops were involved, right? That's what you said, right?
I'd have to reference dates.
Well, why don't I show you a copy of the transcript then and see if that refreshes your recollection as to what you told us on February 12th.
I would appreciate that.
All right, I will. Starting on page 5. Bottom, read that
Would you like me to read it out loud?
to yourself.
Just the highlighted portion?
Nope, just keep reading it.
Okay. Starting at the bottom, right?
Right.
I don't remember where you live, Heather, but if you're like in the Floridas by me, I have been told that I am the dog whisperer. I have fixed many, many sad and issue laden little doggies. Okay, so can we just talk while she's silently reading to herself without her fucking glasses, by the way, about the Pop Rocks and Tootsie Rolls? Can you read that entry of the journal out loud? Is there instructions? Because I'm kind of curious about that, Jodi, and I want to know about that, although I know it will result in she's reading nonstop, Mom. I know this will result in a hearsay objection or an objection hearsay. You know what, Heather? What I've learned about dogs? Time and patience. You just got to love them through it. Oh, are you, Paul? Well, we're practically neighbors. How you going to read your journal without
I can respond.
the
Is that a legal
glasses?
basis?
Oh my gosh, now we're approaching. Good. Well, Jodi is a very, I don't know what, Lord. Oh my God. 87 hours later, Jodi is finished reading.
It pops.
Yes, I started where you highlighted and
Well,
finished it.
Read it above it.
Come
Does
on,
that have anything
get
to
up
do
here.
with the Tootsie Pops or the Rock Pops?
I know, Corky. Listen, that's the only time she's reading her journal. They're still talking about this injury to her finger because Jodi is a lying liar mouth who tells lies. I don't understand why Jodi, what do you need your glasses for, ma'am? Like, what's your particular diagnosis in your ojos? Because I've never seen anybody take their glasses off to read, ever.
Okay,
Does the upper portion have anything to do with it or not?
yes.
Why don't you read the previous page just to make sure that we covered everything involving that particular encounter?
I only have patience, Corky, for animals and people that I care about, but like, Anna, please don't rationalize and make good sense in the chat. I would hate to have to block you. I'm clearly on I don't care for Jodi. The ninjas did it, Arias, and I'd like to stay on that path. And
There is nothing.
your rational, level-headed thinking is not helping.
I don't believe she has at this point.
Read the entire transcript.
I've never seen anybody do that. You know what I noticed, speaking of classes? So,
Irrespective of the date that we're talking
no,
about,
you're good, babe.
whether it was
She did
January
write it, but she's got to
20th,
refresh her
the
memory.
first,
She's got memory
2nd.
problems.
You do reference
Squirrel.
the Pop Rocks and Top Tootsie Pops sexual incident
Oh boy.
by reference to Lonnie's baptism, right?
Yes.
I noticed that there were a lot of certain parts of the trial, the Juan David Ortiz trial, where he had his glasses off. Like when they showed the autopsy photos, he had them off. And, Dahmer didn't wear his glasses during trial. That is one part of the Netflix series that they got wrong. Dahmer did not wear his
The journal entry of January 20th of 2008
did not wear his glasses during his trial because he didn't want to see anybody.
baptism, doesn't it? Take a look at
Yes.
Exhibit 458. This is 458.
She's ruined Pop Rocks and Tootsie Roll Pops. Tootsie Roll Pops are my favorite. Oh, we don't talk rationally and logically about Jodi Arias. I'm sure there's probably a perfectly good explanation for why she doesn't, why she takes her glasses off to read, but I don't want to hear, I don't care because I don't like her. Alice, really? Was that necessary, ma'am? Stop that.
Yes.
And that's a true and accurate copy in front of you, the excerpt of
Ma'am.
what's in your journal involving Lonnie's baptism
Why do you have to
and
mess with
this
my
sexual
church
encounter.
keys? Why? You know that they're there. Stop.
Yeah, let me make sure I'm just referring to the same day.
This is why we can't have a professional stream, Alice. We're never going to be a Kendall Ray.
Let me have that. The first entry is identical on the first page. That indicates Sunday, January 20th, 2008, correct?
Yes, that's when I wrote the entry.
Okay. Then, as we continue on,
I have a really
there
bad
is the
astigmatism,
entry involving
and I
the
am
baptism, right?
nearsighted. I can't see far. Nonstop mom.
You see
Alice
that?
is
You start-
on.
That
Hey,
entry is
Rochelle,
there
good to
involving
see you,
Lonnie's
babe.
baptism.
Yes, I just don't know if I'm referencing the 20th on that.
Oh,
Ma'am, is there any other
Jesus.
intervening date between the January 20th of 2008 where we started and the very end where you put JA. Is there any other date in it?
That I did.
Yes or no?
Just
I haven't.
Well, why don't you take a look? Let's take a look at the first page. First page starts Sunday, January 20th, 2008, doesn't it?
When I wrote it, yes.
Does it start out saying Sunday, January 20th, 2008? Yes or no?
Yes.
And isn't it true that it starts out in black ink? right?
No, no members only,
And then
Pachi.
it continues on in blue ink,
I
right?
need to,
Yes.
I
And it
need to do
flows,
one
doesn't it?
because it's part of the perks, but I always feel
So-
guilty.
The words flow from what's at the bottom there to the next page.
Alice
don't
is over here knocking
they? So
off,
then we go to the bottom of it. The next page is also in blue ink, right?
Yes.
In the next
tchotchkes
page,
off
there
of
is no
my,
other date reference, is there?
bookshelf. She's messing up my aesthetic.
Read it before she can answer
She's
the
looking
question.
at it.
Yeah, she is looking at it.
No, ma'am. Don't turn the page. I just want you to look at that next page to see if you see a date.
Objection, Your Honor, she needs to review it.
Oh, that's not the question, overlooked.
I didn't write a date.
No, there is no date on there, is there?
No.
Okay, let's turn the page.
Oh my God, 87 hours later,
That
and we're
page is
getting
also
to
in
the
blue ink,
actual
right?
answer.
Yes.
And there is no date on that next page, is there?
That's correct.
Then let's look at the page following that. That page, where you have your left hand on, that's also in blue ink. No, you turn the page, go back. That's also in blue ink, correct?
Yes.
And there is no date on there either,
Nonstop.
is there?
To be honest with
That's
you,
correct.
I can't
Turn the
even
page.
remember what the freaking point is anymore.
And then on the next page, that's also in blue ink, correct?
Yes.
And there's no date on that either, right?
That is correct.
The next page after that contains the initials JA, right?
Yes.
That's for Jodi Arias, correct?
Yes.
And that's also in blue ink, correct?
Yes.
And there's no date in that one, is there?
You've never
not.
watched this
If you
trial
turn the
nonstop,
page,
Mom? Oh,
go ahead.
she's a mess.
There's an
Is she-
entry for January 24th of 2008, right?
Yes.
We can then go back, turn the page once. We're looking at the
Oh,
entry
he's-
that says JA on it, right?
This is
Yes.
ultra petty.
Go to
Turn the page
Previous
once.
page, the one that you're pointing to, it does start.
We can't figure out the glasses. We
with
don't understand.
A word that's in quotations, right?
Yes.
Exhibit number 458
Join membership,
includes
Squirrel. We'd love to have you.
that particular portion of the entry in quotation.
Corky,
right?
at least you're tripping on something
Yes.
that's there.
Then
I
if you
have
go to the
literally
previous
tripped
page,
over air.
At the bottom of the page,
I don't remember this either, Heather, whatever. And I think it's because my mind has just been
also in
like
blue ink, right?
protective and is
Yes.
blocking it out.
The entry that I'm showing you now includes that last paragraph, right?
Second to last.
Second to last paragraph.
I wish Seth was in here
Well,
because she's not
if you
wearing
take a
the
look at the
khakis.
bottom,
Today she's wearing black
that there's a
slacks.
word
Oh, I
that's-
apologize. You're correct.
Okay? So in essence, what we're talking about.
What is she
that
doing, Anna?
the one with
Help
the word
me.
That's crossed out.
Why is
then
she like
travels on to
this?
the next page, and that's what's included in this entry, correct? In Exhibit 4.
And look at her lawyer sitting there.
58,
There's
right?
literally nothing
along
that they
with
can
The
do.
first page that includes the date, right?
Yes.
And the entry.
I've been
or
thinking
Exhibit
about,
458
let's-
references.
Let me just turn
Lonnie's
him down
baptism,
so maybe
right?
we can get,
Yes.
I'll talk and hopefully they'll get to the point. You know what? I think the reason that they didn't do it is because she wanted it. Okay, Nadine, thanks for being here, babe. Thanks for your Cash App. I appreciate that, sweetheart, so much. Thank you.
Please be back in the jury room at 1:25. Remember the admonition. Have a nice lunch. You are excused.
Oh, well, we don't get to have lunch. What's happening?
Yes.
Oh, wait,
And
went too far. do you think, guys? Another 30 minutes and then we'll pick it up.
You did hear
I'll do
that, right?
Shayna
I said I like them.
tomorrow. Will that work?
You like them. Isn't it true that that means that if there's
Sweet
something
dreams,
enjoyable-
Nadie.
Yes,
Huh?
And you also said they were hot, right?
yes.
What's hot?
During your sexual encounters with Mr. Alexander,
Oh,
if you wore braids, you thought they were hot and you liked them, right?
I liked his attention.
Yes, both hot and liked him.
Restate the question.
When you were with Mr. Alexander, isn't it true? You wore braids, you liked them.
Yes,
And with regard to the braids, isn't it true that when you were with Mr. Alexander, you thought the braids were hot?
okay.
Oh, no, I'm not asking for an okay. I'm asking for you to tell me the truth. What is it that you believe?
I believe that he thought it was hot, so it was hot.
why don't you ask for $11 billion, Mr. Martinez? Because you ain't getting the truth out of no Jodi
Like during your
Arias.
direct examination. You're saying you lied?
No,
Well, do you want to listen here when you say that they're hot?
Okie dokie, squirrel.
Right, and it doesn't say anything about you.
I promise you, I probably won't get.
Anywhere, does it?
I probably won't get.
No, that's implied.
What's the word?
It's implied.
Recommended.
Just listen to it and see where it's implied.
They'll probably take one look at my channel and be like, no.
You know what I really liked is when we were in the back with the candles, we had the braids,
Blah.
and some were bubbles. That was on top of.
Oh, I love the braids.
I know those are hot.
That's your voice, right?
yes, and Travis's.
Did I ask you if that was Travis's voice, ma'am?
I didn't know which voice you were talking about.
Did I ask you if that was Travis's voice?
No,
We're talking about your voice. That was your voice, right?
yes,
And you do say that those braids are hot, right?
yes,
And you said it because you believed it, right?
yes.
She turns down her voice, and and Juan Martinez is
These,
over
two
here talking
entries
about
that we
turned
have
down
here,
for
these journal
what?
entries. Exhibit number 456.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention to the
We
court
start them out
reporter
by
this whole
dating them
time.
At the upper left-hand corner of each of that one, which is exhibit 456 and 458. You also date it on the upper left-hand corner or the left-hand corner. Do you see that?
Yes,
And you've already told us that there are no dates in between the Sunday 12008
Oh, are we back on this
and
shit
Thursday
again, please?
12408, correct?
correct.
And you looked at the journal, right?
Yes,
There are no entries between those two dates, right?
that's right.
And it's fair to say that September 22nd of 2008 falls between this gap here, correct?
I wouldn't make it.
And
I'm always
nowhere
making a face.
you mentioned either in this January 24th of 08 or January 20th of 08 document, you don't mention anything about this physical encounter with Mr. Alexander that you told us happened on January 22nd of 2008, do you?
No, I would have never.
I'm not asking if you would ever. Do you mention it there?
I said no.
And with regard to not mentioning it there, nothing stopped you from mentioning it, right?
Yes, something did stop me.
So you're
Oh, here
saying
we
that
go.
Somebody held your hand.
She's
and
had
stopped
lunch
you
and
from
she's
writing
got a
it?
whole new
I'm not
pack of
saying that.
lies.
Are you saying that somebody came into your house and stole your journals and said, and took whatever was the journal there took the journal so you couldn't write in it?
I'm not saying that.
You had the ability to write in it, right?
Yes,
You had the free will to write in it, didn't you?
yes.
And there is nothing there, correct?
Referencing that incident?
Pardon?
Do you mean referencing that incident?
Aw,
Yes,
squirrel,
yes,
you don't
Do
have
you
to
mean
do that,
referencing incident?
babe.
There's nothing there.
I would be
Right,
too
there's nothing
controversial,
referencing that incident between those two dates, is there?
even though,
There's not.
like, for
That, the reason it's not there is because it didn't happen, right?
That's not right.
okay. Oh, here we go. We're gonna argue over the
Brittany,
meaning
you
of
say-
is. I can tell you right now.
In exhibit number 456,
You have McMemes,
I haven't written because
Amelia.
there has been nothing
Sweet
noteworthy to
dreams.
report, right?
That's right.
So to you, getting this injury to the left ring finger, that's no big deal then, right?
That's
what
not
you're
what it
saying?
says.
Pardon?
That's not what it says.
I'm not asking you what it says. I'm asking you.
Look,
What you
even
think.
even YouTube is
It's no
done.
big
They're
deal
like,
to
we
you
can't
then,
handle
right?
this anymore.
That's not right.
Oh,
Well, you
Jesus
came
fuck.
in, you told us about it, right? But it's not written in your journal, right?
No,
You didn't call the police, right?
no,
You didn't get any medical care for it, right?
not professional medical care.
Ma'am,
Oh my fuck.
did you go to a doctor to get it looked at?
No,
Did you go to a hospital to get it looked at?
no,
Did you go to a friend's house or an acquaintance to tell them about it?
definitely not.
And
Did
with
you go to a
regard
vet?
The conversation that you had with Detective Flores back on July 16th of 2008, you didn't tell him anything about that, did you?
No, definitely not.
In fact, you gave him a different story, didn't you?
Yes,
You told him something about these two people and how you got that injury to that finger, right?
yes,
The
So you're
ninjas.
saying that what you told the detective there was a lie.
Good night, Corky.
Yes.
See you tomorrow,
So
sweet pea.
in your view, do you just when do you decide to tell the truth? When you're in this court and no place else? Is that what I'm hearing from you?
no,
I mean, just because you're in this court doesn't mean you have to tell the truth. I mean, that's what you're telling us, right?
that's not what I'm telling anyone.
Ma'am, nothing has stopped you from telling this story ever, correct?
That's not correct.
What's
You have free will, don't you?
Yes, I do.
we all have free will,
Nothing
thank
the
you.
detective did stopped you from telling him, right?
Flores, no.
Nothing stopped. You had a car back then, didn't you?
When?
When this supposedly happened.
Crackling,
January
Rosie,
22nd,
I'm done
Yes.
with you.
You could have driven yourself to a hospital, right?
That's getting highlighted,
Yes.
ma'am.
You could have, do you remember telling us about an incident that occurred in August of 2007 where you caught Mr. Alexander kissing some other girl, right?
Yes,
And you told us that, well, with regard to that incident.
This
I
is
called
why
my
she's
father,
on the
right?
stand for 27 days.
And you told him some things about what
We
you
still-
had seen.
Crackling
what had happened
Rosie,
the day
true
before,
crime,
right?
has taken a
Yes.
whole shower.
Nothing
I've
would have
been
stopped
mentioned
you
there's
from calling your father to tell him that,
Washing,
right?
conditioning, exfoliating. And yet,
Well-
here comes Jodi.
sorry, I'm kind of hyper literal sometimes.
Yes
Oh,
or no?
for
Nothing did that
fuck's
day.
sake,
Yes or no?
hyper
Would
literal.
anything have stopped you from calling your father?
Maybe, but
Well, ma'am, you didn't have any problem calling him in August of 2007 and complaining, did you?
I did have a problem with it. He had to convince me to tell him.
Well, you called him and you told him, right?
Eventually, yes, I did.
Oh
You
my
called him and you
gosh.
told him, right?
Yes.
Coolest
could've
had to
called him
restart
and
his
said, "Hey, I got
computer.
this problem
Don't
with my
worry,
finger."
Coolest. We've been streaming for 2 hours
a
and
telephone,
7
right?
seconds. We're still, or 7 minutes. We're
I
still
didn't have
on
a
the
problem with my
finger.
finger then.
Well, I thought that you told us when you testified that on January 22nd of 2008 was when you had this finger injured by Mr. Alexander. Do you remember telling us
Is
that?
it
Yes,
really,
yes.
Paul? That's
And so
crazy.
January 22nd of 2008 or anytime thereafter, you had a telephone, right?
Yes,
You could have called your father and could have told him, right?
could have. Yes,
But you didn't.
I wouldn't have. No, I did not.
And no one knew about this injury or this.
I believe
supposed or
it's
claimed
a
injury to the,
combination
little finger
of
until
Jodi
after
and
you
her
killed
finger
Mr. Alexander, right?
and
That's
NK and her
Yeah.
rocks messing with Coolest reviews.
That was a significant day. January
Computadora.
22nd of 2008, correct?
It's the day after my
Yes.
mom's birthday. I'm
And
the
significant,
28th
I
and
remember
she's the
reasons, including The
21st.
fact that you claimed that on January 21 of 2008, you caught Mr. Alexander
Headline news?
masturbating
With
to
Nancy
some
Grace
images
is on
of
there.
her, correct?
I only saw one image. It was
I
a
can't
photo.
remember who else.
Didn't you
Oh
say that there were
my
images?
goodness.
There were more than one.
There were more than one image. I only caught a
So
quick
was
view
there
of
more
one
than one
image.
image? I'm sorry. Was there more than one image, Mary?
Yes,
Okay, but you only saw one, right?
one
According
clearly.
to
Yes.
you.
I knew what you
And
meant,
that's-
but I like to pretend
and
that you're
was the
calling me
day
dear.
before this supposed thing
Coolest.
happened on January, or where he had this violent issue with you on January 22nd of 2008, right?
That's right.
My brain is tired
And if
from
we go
Jodi
again
too.
to
She
this
is
entry here,
messing with my
456.
amygdala. My amygdala is vibrating because of Jodi and her.
I haven't written because there has
Oh my
there has been
God.
nothing noteworthy to report. That's what you wrote, correct?
Correct.
The way you explain it to us here, this issue involving this claimed issue involving Mr. Alexander, that's pretty noteworthy, isn't it?
Not for my journal.
Oh
But
my
Is it
Yes,
God.
in reality, I guess it is very noteworthy.
It's noteworthy to you, isn't it?
It is today.
It's
Oh,
noteworthy. to
Jodi,
you,
that's
isn't it?
not
I
helping.
already answered your question.
And the answer is yes or no.
Yes.
And it's so noteworthy to you that you waited until after you killed Mr. Alexander to tell anybody about it, right?
I waited years.
The answer is, did you wait until after this prosecution started, after you were charged, to tell anybody about it, correct?
Objection, asked and answered.
Yes, I waited years.
The judge doesn't like you either
And
because
then-
that really should have.
One
That
of
was a
the
correct
things that the way you
objection.
made it sound was that he had a problem, right?
He did have a problem.
That's what you claim, right?
That's the reality.
That's what you claim, correct?
Okay, yes.
When back then there was this problem, did you call, for example, the way you made it sound is he had this huge problem. Did you call, for example, Child Protective Service?
No.
I mean, you made it sound that there was such a big problem.
Oh, I can't
that
wait
he
to
even went and spent the
watch
night
that.
somewhere at a friend's house and they had a
Coolest.
child, and that concerns you. Do you remember telling us that on direct examination?
Yes.
And yet you didn't go to that person and tell him, hey, he's got this issue, did you?
No.
You didn't go to the police department and tell him anything, right?
No,
You chose to keep that.
you didn't tell
allegation
your journal, did you?
until about 2 years ago. Is that right?
I think it's almost 3 years ago at this point. No. I think it was almost 3.5, 4 years ago at this point.
Pick a year. What year did you?
Yeah, please pick a
2009
year.
was when I first
And
told somebody.
you were arrested back in July of 2008.
That's correct.
Yes.
And when this detective interviewed you, you didn't tell him anything about it, did you?
No, I didn't.
Definitely not.
And you could have, though, right?
In theory, yes, I could have.
Ma'am, one of the things that happened with regard to this particular issue is that there was a hearing that was scheduled involving this. What time did this allegation happen? When do you claim that, we know the date, what time do you claim that you saw this masturbatory activity?
Oh, sweet Jesus.
It would have been in the afternoon after my morning shift.
And what time would that have been then?
Just
I don't
give
know
us
the
a.
exact time, but it was afternoon before, well before it was dark. It was still light out.
Okay, can you be more specific? Was it noon?
It was afternoon.
All right, was it 2 o'clock?
Objection, asked and answered. Sheriff says
Restate the question.
If it was so noteworthy, why can't you remember the time?
It was kind of traumatic.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So, what, just because weren't your senses heightened at that time that you saw this? Didn't you get angry or upset?
objection, comment, question.
Were you angry?
I was sick to my stomach.
Ma'am, were you
I was not
angry?
angry.
Were you angry?
I became angry later, but not in that moment.
Were you angry at that time, ma'am?
I said not in that moment.
So the answer is no, right?
Yes.
Were you upset at that time?
Yes.
So if you're upset, aren't you kind of, your senses heightened at that time to know the time?
Objection, she said answer the question.
Can you repeat that?
Weren't your senses heightened because of this anger to at least know the time so somebody could check it out?
Well, you said because of anger, but I wasn't angry at that moment.
Well, then, you see this, you're not angry and you're not upset, right?
I am upset.
Oh, you are upset. If you're upset, don't you think that that would have heightened your senses over what you just saw?
My mind doesn't work like that.
So the answer is no then, right?
It kind of moved in slow motion, so if that's heightened,
Is it yes or no, ma'am?
it's kind of a matter of opinion. I don't know.
Oh my
And I'm
God.
asking
It's
for
your
your opinion.
opinion.
Ask and answer. She can't speculate.
Take your time, Jodi. We don't have anything
Whether
else
it's
better to
heightened,
do.
My perception of things, is that your question?
Right. At that time when you're viewing this, the way you describe it is bad act.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, it's something I'm never going to forget, that I wish I could.
Oh my.
Forget it, is what you just said, right?
That's right.
But you have forgotten the time.
I know it was the afternoon.
Ma'am, I'm asking you for the time.
Objection, Ms. Arias' testimony. She said she doesn't know the time.
Restate your question, sustained.
You said that you'll never forget it, right?
The incident.
Right. And I'm asking you, isn't it true that you forgot the time?
Objection again in Ms. Arias' testimony. She said she never knew the time.
Sustained, rephrase.
You said that you had just been let or out from Mimi's Cafe, right?
For a little while.
Pardon?
For a little while. I was off work for a little while.
Just find her
You worked at
guilty.
Mimi's Cafe, right?
Yes.
You had been working that day, right?
Yes.
Your shift was over, right?
Yes.
What time did your shift start?
I never drank
Very-
Tab, but I do like
That
Pepsi.
day,
Pepsi's
what
my
day,
favorite.
What time did your shift start?
We're currently broken up
morning.
though.
What time?
Sometime in the morning. I don't know the exact time.
You don't know the exact time, yet you knew that you had to be there on that day at a certain
Yes.
time? What time does Mimi's open?
I've never opened Mimi, so I'm not sure.
Oh Jesus. I
So
can't.
You don't know the time that it opens, you don't know the time that you went to work, right?
Not the exact time.
Just the morning is what you can give us, right?
Yes, early morning.
10 to 12 would only be 2 hours, right?
That's right.
Was it an 8-hour shift, man?
No, they aren't 8-hour shifts.
So on that day, it was not an 8-hour shift, right?
That's right.
How many hours was your shift?
It depended on the flow of business.
I understand that it may depend on that. How many hours did you work on January 21 of 2008 on this day that this horrible thing you claim happened?
I would only be able to tell you a range.
How many hours then? Give me a range. Since what you're telling me is you don't know.
I know the range, but not the exact hours.
So you're telling me you don't know the exact hours, right?
Yes.
And anything else that you would give me would be a guess, right?
Yes.
And ma'am, do you have, I mean, you had a lot of memory for a lot of events involving sexual instances with Mr. Alexander, yet you seem to be having problems with your memory here today. And you also alluded to a little bit that you have problems with your memory. Is this a long-standing thing that you've had problems with your memory, or is this just something that happened recently?
Compound question.
It's honestly
Is it a recent
nonstop,
visit?
Mom. This is about
Define recent.
showing what a liar and
I don't
manipulator
know.
she
Since
is
you
to the
started
jury.
testifying,
No, it goes back further than that.
Oh, does it?
How
Okay.
long does it, far back does it go?
Tell me. Yes, Jodi. We all want dying to know.
I don't even know if I'd call it a problem.
Well, just tell me how far back it goes. You said you were going to tell me, so tell me, please.
How far back what goes?
We're talking about your memory problem, right?
I don't know that I'd really call it a problem.
Okay,
I just
Is it-
have, I don't remember every single thing that's ever happened to me in my whole life.
ma'am. your
Ma'am.
Memory issues. We're talking about those, right?
I wouldn't even call them issues, but okay, my memory.
Well, you don't want to call them problems, right?
No, I don't want to.
You don't want to call them issues, right?
I don't
right?
know. I really
Right,
don't.
you don't want to call them issues. You just told me that, right?
I didn't say I don't want to.
All right, so you're.
Oh, we're
you
back to
wanna call them issues
arguing
then?
semantics.
With regard to these memory issues that you claim to have, when did you start having them?
It depends on the type of memory issue.
If it benefits you, you have a memory issue,
Objection argument, Your Honor.
or if it hurts you, you have a memory issue.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Well,
When it hurts, sometimes I
ma'am, there's no question right now. You
Yeah,
say that you
ma'am.
have memory problems, but it depends on the circumstance, right?
Hey, Cherokee Raider, good to see you.
That's right.
And give me the factors. I don't want to know about a specific circumstance. What factors influence your having a memory problem?
Usually when men like you are screaming at me or grilling me, or someone like Travis doing the same.
So that affects your memory problems,
It
right?
does. It makes my brain scramble.
So you're saying that it's basically what you're saying is Mr. Martinez's fault, that you can't remember things.
He just
that are going on.
referred to himself
not
in
my
the
fault.
third
I'm
person.
not saying that. You're saying that, isn't it?
No, I'm not saying that.
Is there something about a certain decibel of the voice that
Oh
creates
my
problems?
God, come on.
Decibel, tone, content, sort of a combination of those factors.
Nobody believes you, Jodi. She wants to laugh. She's trying not to laugh. Look at her ass.
You may.
Yes, money helps my memory too, nonstop mom. Hit that Cash App and PayPal, yeah. Lord. We're going to stop it there because I can't take any more Jodi the Ninjas Did It Arias for tonight. But tomorrow night, I'll be back with Shayna Huber's whatchamacallit. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Good. I'm glad you're back. And I'm sorry that you broke your hand and your wrist, but I'm glad to hear that you're healing, and that's good. So tomorrow we're gonna do let me just start again. Rephrase. Tomorrow I'm going to roast Shayna Huber because we don't really have any trials. And then on Saturday night, I'm gonna do we're gonna talk about Kat Melander. You guys are really gonna want to stay tuned for that because it's kind of because I find it to be interesting. Plus, we watched the trial, so don't you want to know what she said? And then Sunday, I want to talk a little bit about the Idaho 4, just kind of catch up. And then does she have red hair? I can't remember. I keep blocking her out, nonstop mom. And then Sunday, I want to talk about the Idaho 4, and I want to talk about Athena because Strand, because they've released the arrest affidavit, and I want to talk about that because I'm curious about the language that's in it. So I want to talk about that on Sunday. So does that sound like a plan? Oh, you're welcome, Jen. Thanks for being here. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the super chats and stickers. Thank you for the PayPals and Cash Apps. I greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys all back here tomorrow night when we roast Shayna Huber. Sound like a plan? All right. You guys stay safe out there on these YouTube streets and the real ones because it's dicey out there. All right, you guys. It is a heart crusher, Heather. It is. Oh, I'm sure it has, Cherokee. It's really it's a scary and yet it's very interesting. But I want to do that like on Sunday, and because then the week is over, and typically there's not a whole lot of there might be an Idaho 4, but we're just going to catch up on the current cases that are open and stuff. So and tomorrow night before I roast Shayna. Oh, perfect, Cherokee. Before I roast Shayna tomorrow night, we're gonna figure out. We'll find out, and we'll talk about Scott and what the judge decided. Okay, Peterson. I shouldn't be just referring to him by his first name, like we're cool like that. We just know each other. We're on a first name basis. Yeah, we'll see what's going on with old Scott Peterson, whether he gets a new trial or not. All right, all right. It's good to see you too, Cherokee. You take care and feel better, okay? I'm glad to hear that you're healing up. And hey, you don't have to wait till Sunday. You come tomorrow too. I'll be live then too. All right. Good night, you guys. Take it easy. Have a good rest of your Thursday night. We only got one more day. Tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, Scott, old buddy, my pal. All right. Good night, you guys. Bye.